The Harnds Talisman is a Chinese-designed and made knife that stacks up impressively in its value. It's a large, unassisted flipper running on ball bearings for under $30 most places online. GearBest sent this to me so I could tell you what I thought. The knife here is running on small ball bearings that you can see in the teardown that they provide, and it flips really smooth out of the box. Let me show you that. So just really smooth. Again, super smooth, super easy. And it was like this the very first time I opened it. You know, it's gotten a little bit better as I've used it here over the last week or two, and it flips nicely. It doesn't have a thumb stud or anything, so flipping is the only way to deploy it. More on that here in a minute. The knife had a little bit of extra oil coming out of the pivot and on the handles and blade, and that's a good thing. That's what I like to see on knives. It means the steel will be protected during shipping. The flipper itself here is pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty nice. It's a little bit sharp on that leading edge there, but I think that's what you really want in a knife. You've got a little bit of jimping here to give you a little bit more traction and stability. The blade itself is a modified drop point shape that's full flat ground in a satin finish and made of Aus-8 steel. I like this drop point shape. It's pretty classic, and I find it to be a great slicer in practical everyday tasks such as opening packages and envelopes, as well as food prep. Aus-8 is an okay steel, slightly better than 8CR13 MOV, I think. Some big knife companies like SOG use it on a lot of knives that cost way more. The heat treat here seems to be pretty decent. Out of the box, sharpness was good, but not hair-popping sharp. As far as the steel goes, a quick touch-up here with a sharpening system like the Spyderco Sharp Maker and a leather strap should make this good to go. And Aus-8 is easy to keep polished. Lockup on this knife is a little bit early. As you can see there, I'm guessing this will wear in as you continue to use the knife. And while I'm in here, let's take a look here. You can see all these edges are nicely beveled just a little bit. That's just a really nice feature and really nice touch that they've done to allow you better access in places and prevent any sharp edges. So this knife only has 3 screws, and really 2 hold it together and 1 holds on the pocket clip. You've got T8 screws here, and then a T7 screw for the pocket clip. And I want to say these are almost custom screws. If I hold it up here a little closer, you can see. They're just pretty high quality. That surprised me. So the knife body itself is a contoured black G10, and it fits in my hand pretty decently. It's a bigger knife. The blade's 3.5 inches, and the handle is around 4, and those are rough numbers there. One thing that's not perfect for me is this hump here on the grip. It just isn't quite perfect. I want to choke up on this knife just a little bit more, and when I do that, my middle finger there hits the hump right there. So if I hold it back, it's okay, but naturally I want to hold it more like this, and that gets in the way for me. Not a big deal. It's nicely rounded over so it doesn't hurt, and it's not too sharp. There is jimping here on the back of the blade, and the back spacer does have a nice little texture there. Like I said before, all the edges are nicely rounded over and smoothed out. It's a nicely finished knife in production. I like the G10 here. It's nicely contoured, and it almost looks like it's an ebony wood, but it's G10. It's not real grippy. It's a little smooth. I wish it had a little bit more grip to it. When I was pulling this out of my pocket, I noticed that it was a little bit harder to pull out of my pocket because I had a little bit of a hard time getting purchase on the other side of the knife. But that's also due to the pocket clip here isn't real deep, which is a pro and a con. I like that it's a deep carry. It's perfect in that regard. However, since it's short here, I'm used to grabbing a knife down lower out of my pocket when I grab it, kind of like this. With this knife, you almost have to grab up a little bit higher, so it just takes a little bit of getting used to. And once you do that, it comes out of the pocket just fine. One quick note about this pocket clip, it's right hand tip up carry only. It's not milled out to put on the left side or a screw hole, and you can't reverse it, so it's this way or no way. I'll roll in a picture here because this is hard to see, but the liners on the opposite side, the lock here, are milled out, and that's nice for weight saving reasons. And the weight of this knife is 5.19 ounces. So not the lightest knife in the world, but also not super heavy. It carries pretty well in the pocket because of these contoured edges, but that weight is still somewhat substantial. It is a pretty thick blade stock as well. So that's not something I expect to see in a knife that's under $30 is milled out liners, but I like it. It is a semi-flow through design here, about halfway flow through. This liner prevents it from being full flow through. Here's the box it came in. It's a pretty simple box. They explain the company's, kind of a little bit of the company heritage and the name of it. GearBest sticks their sticker on the end of it. And inside, the knife came in plastic, and then you get a little bit of a manual here. It is in Chinese and English, and it's an okay manual. You know, there's really not a whole lot to need a manual on a knife like this, but it's nice they include one. On the GearBest website, this knife is listed as a girl pocket knife, and I can't figure out why. Nothing about this knife is specific to one gender or another. To me, this knife is a little larger and would probably be more manly because of that. However, that's it. It's a little bit more gentlemanly and definitely on the larger side. Overall, this is a pretty solid knife for under $30. It carries better in the pocket than I thought it would due to its contoured edges, and I really haven't noticed it even on slimmer fitting shorts. For this price point, the steel is about what I'd expect. 8CR13 MOV would be fine too, or 440C steel. I find 440 maybe stays sharper a little bit better than AUS 8. But again, for the price, it's not bad. What I think is a really great value is that this is a well-executed knife. Some real thought and testing has been put into the design. And to be running on ball bearings and flip so great at this low price, it's a no-brainer. If you're looking for a 3.5-inch flipper on bearings for under $30, I definitely recommend you add this one to your list. Thanks for watching this video. Please make sure you like and subscribe with the bell to my channel. I'll have more gear reviews soon.